The High Conclave of the Aurelian Compact convened only for matters that shaped history. When the chamber lights dimmed and the star map of the Orion Arm ignited above the circular dais, silence fell among the assembled delegates. Hundreds of species watched as the projection zoomed inward, past nebulae, past trade routes, until it stopped on an unremarkable yellow star. Sol. Supreme Executor Valeth of the Car Dominion stepped forward, his voice calm, confident, absolute. Scans confirm it. The system is resource-rich, lightly defended, and politically fragmented. The dominant species calls itself human. They possess limited interstellar capability and no unified fleet. A ripple of amusement moved through the chamber. Then Elder Ixa rose. She was ancient even by galactic standards, her translucent form flickering as if reality itself struggled to hold her together. When she spoke, the chamber's translators hesitated. Her language was older than most empires. "Do not advance into that system," Ixa warned. "Withdraw your fleets. Leave Sol untouched." Valeth turned, irritation flashing across his mandibles. "Elder, with respect, humanity does not meet any criteria for a true threat. Their world is unstable, their species divided by internal conflict." "Exactly," Ixa replied softly. "That is why they are dangerous." The chamber quieted. "They evolved on a death world," she continued. "Predators larger than their dwellings. Climate extremes that reshape continents. They did not conquer their planet by dominance alone, but by endurance, by adaptation, by an unmatched capacity for violence when survival demands it." Valeth dismissed the warning with a wave of his claw. "Every empire claims its wars were forged by hardship. Earth is insignificant." Ixa's eyes dimmed. "I have watched civilizations burn because they mistook silence for weakness. Humans do not roar when threatened. They prepare." The vote proceeded anyway. Within minutes, the Aurelian Compact approved the incursion. The conquest would be swift, surgical. A lesson, not a war. As the fleets began mobilizing, Ixa whispered words that would later echo through history. "They will not beg. They will not break. And when they fight back, they will not stop." Far away, on a pale blue world, humanity's early warning arrays lit up for the first time in their history. Something was coming. The first Aurelian warships arrived at the edge of Sol with ceremonial precision. 200 vessels formed an immaculate arc, hulls glowing with energy fields strong enough to withstand stellar flares. They did not attack. They broadcast. Every human screen, from orbital stations to handheld devices, flickered, then stabilized. A towering alien figure filled the image. "I am Executor Valeth," the translation announced. "By authority of the Aurelian Compact, Earth is hereby placed under annexation. You will disarm your orbital defenses, surrender your military assets, and submit to governance. Compliance ensures survival. Resistance ensures extinction." 72 hours. That was all the time humanity was given. In the halls of power across Earth, chaos erupted. Emergency councils convened. Old enemies found themselves seated at the same tables. For the first time, humanity looked outward, not at itself but at something that wanted them erased. The aliens watched closely. They expected panic. Instead they saw silence. No pleas. No surrender messages. No frantic broadcasts. What they did not see but should have feared was the sudden spike in encrypted data traffic. Military satellites changing orbits. Long-abandoned bunkers unlocking. Research facilities once buried under secrecy coming alive. General Naomi Carter addressed the United Earth Defense Council. "We can't beat them head-on," she said calmly. "So we won't." Plans were shared that had never been meant to leave classified archives. Experimental weapons. Fail-safe contingencies. Scenarios designed for the end of the world. Meanwhile, Valeth grew impatient. "They do nothing," he scoffed to his advisors. "Fear has paralyzed them." But Elder Ixa watched the data streams with mounting dread. "They are not paralyzed," she whispered. "They are deciding what they are willing to lose." When the 72 hours expired, Valeth ordered a demonstration. A single city vanished beneath orbital fire, clean, precise, absolute. Billions watched the sky burn. And Earth did not surrender. Instead, every remaining satellite turned its sensors outward, locking onto Aurelian fleet formations. Humanity had made its choice. The first human strike was not elegant. It was catastrophic. As Aurelian ground forces began their descent into what they believed was a shattered, compliant world, the atmosphere ignited. Nuclear fire blossomed across landing zones, planned, calculated, devastating. Entire battalions vanished in seconds. Valeth stared at the tactical display in disbelief. They're destroying their own planet. They are denying us ground, Elder Ixa said grimly. At any cost. Human vessels followed, crude by Aurelian standards but terrifying in intent. They did not maneuver defensively. They accelerated straight into enemy lines, ramming shielded cruisers at relativistic speeds. Suicide attacks. Unthinkable. Aurelian doctrine prized preservation. Human doctrine, it became clear, prioritized outcome. Cities burned. Oceans boiled. Millions died. And still Earth fought. Human engineers learned faster than Aurelian analysts could adapt. Captured technology was reverse-engineered in weeks. Shield harmonics were cracked. Weapon frequencies adjusted. What began as a punitive expedition became a war of attrition. Valetha's confidence eroded with every engagement. They should be broken, he snarled. No species survives this level of loss. They are not surviving, Ixa replied. They are enduring. The humans broadcast then, not pleas but stories. Footage of destroyed cities. Of volunteers boarding one-way ships. Of families standing beneath evacuation sirens and raising flags instead of running. Across the galaxy, enslaved species watched. And learned. Resistance cells ignited. Supply lines vanished. Aurelian holdings rebelled. Earth's fury was no longer contained within Sol. It was spreading. The war ended not with a decisive battle, but with exhaustion. Aurelian fleets withdrew, battered and bleeding, chased by human strike groups that refused to let retreat go unpunished. When the final ceasefire was declared, Earth was scarred beyond recognition. But it still stood. Valeth addressed the conclave one last time, his armor cracked, his voice hollow. We misjudged them. Elder Ixa inclined her head. You ignored the warning. Humanity did not demand tribute. They did not seek conquest. They demanded one thing only. Never come to Sol again. The compact agreed. In the years that followed, Earth rebuilt, stronger, unified, watchful. Human diplomats walked the stars with calm smiles and unspoken threats. Their fleets patrolled borders not as conquerors but as reminders. The galaxy learned a new truth. Humans are not the strongest. They are not the fastest. They are not the most advanced. But when pushed to the edge, they will burn their own world to deny you victory, and rise from the ashes with vengeance in their hands. The elders had warned them. And the galaxy paid the price for not listening.